finally got everything going. Been a while. Been kind of busy with life and stuff. Still been riding, but not really a good opportunity to do some vlogging. But finally have a good opportunity to my maps is all wonked out. I don't want to fix it. I know kind of where I'm going. I was set up to avoid a whole bunch of other stuff. But anyway, neither here nor there. Gonna go meet up with one of my coworkers, guy I've ridden with before. We're gonna go down to Cannon Falls. I found a cool little diner that I wanted to go check out today. And last time I was recording and filming and everything, I don't know, some of you are maybe watching. Hopefully this brings in a new audience or whatnot, but I got some like good mic settings and everything situated. Got some new gloves as well, and some new shoes. Feeling good, looking good. Just picked up the homie. Hey. Gonna go to Cannon Falls today, like we said. But first, need the caffeine. $5 freaking can of coffee though.
Better than it's $10.
Oh my gosh, dude. Insanity.
Okay.
Yep.
Got my little 6.5 ounce I'm still sipping.
Yeah, mine was black, so I had to like, you just gotta down it.
Canceled.
Cancel culture? Oh dude, new Superman movie last night.
My aunt told me there's a schnauzer in it. The dog, Crypto?
Sure? I don't know. It was CG.
What?
The dog CG.
Nuh-uh.
I swear.
It's a white dog though, right?
Yeah, canceled. You started it.
No, touche. You win this round. A worthy adversary.
Yeah, no, but apparently, yeah, and it was directed by the same guy that did the Guardians of the Galaxy movies.
Okay. I never watched any of them.
Really?
You're gonna have a conniption, aren't you? I
No.
didn't keep up with any of the Marvel.
That's fair, but like the Guardians of the Galaxy movies were actually just like really good.
Well, I like Chris Pratt. I've
Yes,
seen, like, clips,
he's also
I've never
a
watched the
fantastic
whole thing.
actor. But no, yeah, it was really, really good.
Really?
Like it was just like a cinematically just really well put together movie.
Okay.
It was funny where it needed to be. The action sequence was really good. Like it really like, it starts off with Superman losing a fight.
Wait, Superman?
Yeah,
How does that work?
because Lex Luthor is super smart.
Lex Luger.
Luger, Gruger, ba ba ba. You nailed it.
Yep.
All right.
Popped it, actually.
I don't have much to say to this, so I'm just gonna give you some motorcycle audio and kind of do some time lapse shit, I think, in the post. So, see you there.
Let's suppose that you were able every night to dream any dream you wanted to dream.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
And you would, naturally, as you began on this adventure of dreams, you would fulfill all your wishes. You would have every kind of pleasure. And after several nights, 75 years of total pleasure each, you would say, well, that's pretty great. But now let's have a surprise. Let's have a dream which isn't under control.
I still dream of what it could have been. I still dream of what it could have been. I still dream of. I still dream of. I still dream of what it could still want you for my own, but I know that it's all gone. And in the midst of it, it's in the thick of it. The ultraviolet deep inside of you is imminent, and in the heat of it, I'm losing my grip. My baby's gone, but I still dream of what it could have been. And in the midst of it, it's in the thick of it. The ultraviolet deep inside of you is imminent, and in the heat of it, I'm losing my grip. I still dream. Inside
5% battery left. We just made it here, Nick's Diner. Really fun little cruise. That was pretty good timing. My butt's like just starting to hurt a little bit.
Just starting to go now.
Just a little bit, just like the right inner thigh, right below the cheek. Never been here before. I don't think you've ever been here before either, right? So we're gonna check this place out, and yeah, we'll let you know after we're done. Where was that energy? Fucking fucker.
If I can cover my face.
Love you.
Drive safe. Love you too.
I would say today was a really good day. The diner we hit up, apparently my friends all kind of know about it. I didn't know they knew about it, but after I posted on my Snap story, I kept on getting people telling me, oh, you checked it out, you know about this place, whatever. It's like, no, I had no clue. Had no clue at all. Just happened to be like kind of scrolling around south of the cities here, because me and the homie that I've been with all day was looking for just some place to kind of vibe out and like, you know, look for a place to kind of like a destination, so to speak, you know, and haven't really spent a whole lot of time in Cannon Falls and blah blah blah. Long story short, it was a really good diner. Like, obviously I can eat breakfast any day of the week. Like, I love breakfast food. I could eat breakfast 3 times a day, to be honest with you. But that's a different issue, to be honest. But we checked it out. You know, I just kind of like stumbled across it while just kind of scrolling around Google Maps in like a particular, you know, location that was about a good riding distance away, and yeah, it turned out to be the move. People were really nice, the food was really good. So then we kind of spent some time in Cannon Falls, you know, just kind of checking out the falls and, you know, just kind of hanging out, shooting the breeze, and just generally having a really good time. I think the homie wants to go check out a different fall, but I'm trying to kind of get my footage together here, and I'm also got some other chores I gotta get done before my hot date tonight. So I'm just gonna be taking her home on my own. Instead of taking these back roads that we took to get here, I'm just gonna take 52 up north and just kind of take her easy, so to speak. So yeah, not really a whole lot to say, I guess. Just been really nice to have like a decent Sunday to kind of ride. I think last time I actually got decent footage was also on a Sunday. So Sunday to Sunday, good time. power through here. Heck yeah, brother. Sick. Good thing I grew up around Iowa a lot of my life. Kind of used to that scent. That smelly smell that smells smelly. You know, I'm kind of torn between like how I want to go about these vlogs, because the last one I think was like 20 minutes, and I haven't really looked at the statistics because I'm not doing it for anybody other than me, just to kind of like get the footage out there, and it's just kind of fun learning a new skill in my opinion, you know, like, so I don't know if like, maybe I'll try to do something a little bit longer. Maybe I'll like actually try to be more of a vlogger on the way back here, since I should just be going straight most of this time, you know? Maybe a little bit of this and that mixed in, but I don't think anything too crazy is gonna happen. I don't really know what to talk about though, you know? Like, what do you talk about? I suppose I could talk about the MSF course that I just got done taping. So Saturday, Sunday course that I took last weekend was actually a really good time. The instructors were really intelligent. I kind of see it as one of those things where you get out of it what you put into it, you know? So like, you ask it questions and like whatever, then you're gonna get more out of it, essentially, right? Whereas if like you're just trying to like get through it, then you know you're just gonna learn the bare minimum. I feel like I was actually able to learn quite a bit, and like kind of I don't know, since I had been riding since I got my permit. I know there was several people there who were using it as their like first time to kind of be on a motorcycle was that course, you know? And honestly, I don't, like, wow, the sun was like right in that blinker, so I couldn't see it. That was scary. Where was I at? Oh, I don't really think that it's necessarily a good call to make that your first time being on a motorcycle. You know, I think that if you're determined enough to kind of go through those processes and whatnot, that you should kind of have a premise of like what your first bike is going to be. Now, I'm not going to tell you like, oh, you should get X, Y, or Z to be your first bike, but there are like already a whole bunch of established, you know, like top 3 best first bikes that you can get, whatever. And those are all good, you know. I use those as a tool to like determine what my first bike was going to be. You know, I got myself a Rebel 500, and I think it was perfect for like getting comfortable, learning, whatever, you know, like had enough power to kind of like get you out of the way when you really needed. The low end was easy to utilize, so you know you didn't have to be in like a particular power range, what have you, to like get the most out of it. But like it was also forgiving enough that if you like, you know, were not super smooth on the throttle, or like, you know, a little bit herky-jerky, that it wasn't gonna like inherently high side you, throw you off the bike, or go down, or whatever, you know. So I do think that if you're going into like an MSF course, that having your first bike kind of prepped or whatever is the move. Because you don't, it makes it difficult. Is it possible? Yeah, for sure. But having that like experience prior going into it makes it so much easier to like pass and get a lot out of the course itself. At least for me, right? So after those 2 days, got, you know, my endorsement finalized, and I was super thrilled about it, you know, just kind of being done with the whole thing. So I kind of like went to the DMV the day after and got all my licensing and all that figured out the next day. You know, got a duplicate license and paid to have the endorsement, blah blah blah. So yeah, that was kind of a cool experience, I think. And I think I brought it up previously, but I met a girl that I'm like kind of crazy about right now while I was there. You know, like that's going scary well because relationships normally don't go well for me. Don't go well at all. So I just keep on thinking to myself, like, what am I not seeing here? Where are the red flags? But I also think that I went about it the right way. Because you always think to yourself that, like, oh, I should, you know, do the things that I want to do, and then theoretically you just kind of like find somebody you vibe with during that like situation, you know, during those outings, classes, whatever it happens to be, you know. And to be fair, like for the longest time, I've been wanting a relationship for a while, but I don't know. Maybe I don't get too deep into it, but yeah. I don't know. What a lush rain day. It just got done raining. It's still a little muggy from it. Kind of like debating on whether or not I want to get into my past traumas. I'm not really sure if it's appropriate. Because like I said, but you know, maybe it'll be therapeutic. You know, I don't really expect anybody to be watching these, so why not get into it, right? Maybe it'll help me deal with it. So let's see, I'm 32. My first like serious relationship, well, quote unquote serious, probably my high school sweetheart, the girl whom I was cooking beans about. She was like my first, in a lot of regards, but she we met like freshman year, dated pretty much all through high school until like junior year, I believe. But that was kind of interesting. I think she kind of had some unresolved things going on as well, but I personally with that, I don't really hold that against her whatsoever. Like, we were both young, things were happening, we both kind of made mistakes. That's kind of whatever, right? Can't really expect that to go too far. But I think it was the relationship after that that kind of like messed me up the most. The girl that I dated for like 7 years, and she was like, I thought she was the one going into it, you know? She, crazy pretty, but she also had some things kind of going on in the background that I don't think are really her traumas, whatever, you know, shortcomings, young parents on her end, both of our ends realistically, but I don't really hold that against her. But yeah, it was 7 years and it was like pretty blissful for a while, and she was the first person that I was kind of like talking to that I kind of like seriously contemplated, like, or was thinking about marriage and stuff, you know. And I got like baptized and whatever, and you know, we were gonna like have a church wedding, all this stuff, and you know, she was the one that was kind of bringing it up. And like, granted, like, I was in love with her, so like I kind of was super receptive to the idea. I mean, like, I thought she was the one, you know what I mean? I had thought that for a long time at that point. And after after like those 7 years or whatever, things were going really well. I mean, granted, I had made mistakes early in the relationship too, but I mean, when you're like going into a relationship at like 17, and then, you know, you make these mistakes early and you're like late in your teens, and then like date like through your early to mid 20s, like that's a lot of like character development and whatnot. And like it's hard to say like who's at fault there, right? But like, so we had worked through like some of the things that I put us through. Granted, it was, you know, fidelity, whatever, you know what I mean? Like I was not a great human when I started dating her, and like I do give her a lot of like props for putting up and helping mold me realistically, I think is kind of the best way to put it. She really did do that, you know, which was nice of her and whatever. But so like the whole talks of like marriage, whatever, weren't really like brought up until after that. And like, I don't know, she ended up, so I think it all kind of stemmed from a vacation that we had took. This is kind of where I kind of like marked the beginning of the end, right? So like I took her to both of our first like real music festivals, Shaky Beats in like 2017 down in Atlanta, and I'm in Minnesota, so like that's a drive and a half, because like we were young, whatever, and we couldn't really afford the tickets like that, so we had to drive realistically there to like kind of make it work. And she didn't really have a great time the first 2 days, you know. I did, and like I was being receptive and like trying to help her through it, whatever. And then on the last day, because she really wanted to see the Chainsmokers, she was like headlining the whole festivals at that point, and she really got into that one. And I think it was like that plus the drinking kind of helped her loosen up. I don't think she didn't need the alcohol, but it definitely helped her kind of like break out of her shell there a little bit, and she definitely had a way better third day because of it, you know. But after that festival, she kind of started wanting to do more things, and it was kind of like a whole ordeal where like how do I word this? So it was kind of strange to me that she had talked about like getting married and whatever, and then decided that she didn't want to move in together, right? Because like I bought a place, I owned property, and she didn't want to move in with me, which I found, I mean, granted, you know, I've always been an understanding human, so it was like, okay, yeah, you want to live by yourself for a little bit, you don't want to go from like living with siblings or whatever to just like living with a partner. Well, okay, sure, I can understand that. You want a little bit of like personal growth time, you know, I can get behind that, you know. I'm not gonna like push you to something you don't want to do. Seemed a little odd to me when she was the one talking about marriage or whatever, but at the end of the day, like, I'm not gonna force that. I'm not gonna force that issue. You know, it's not worth getting into. But she ended up going on this trip to Vegas with her roommate, and that's when I found out. Well, I didn't find out until afterwards, right? So like, after she got back from that Vegas trip, she was like really drifting apart, like really aggressively there. And I had actually broken up with her at that point because she just, you know what I mean, like 7 years at that point into your mid-20s, you kind of like develop and change as people, and I just, you know, didn't really acquit it much of that like growth apart to much more than, you know, like differences of growing up and gaining experience through life and whatnot. So I just kind of let it be what it was, you know. It's like, you know, I still love you, I still respect you, but like I just don't think that this is working out. And so after that, you know, I was in the process of moving on, or like I kind of was moving on at that point in my life, and she called me, I think like a day and a half after that, or like actually no, I think it was the next night, she had called me and was telling me about how badly she had messed up and blah blah blah, and she's like, hey, I need you to know that I still want you, blah blah blah. And I think this is the part of it that like really messed me up, because I put it all together pretty instantaneously when she called me, and why it made sense why she was so willing to kind of like let the relationship go. She essentially had cheated on me in Vegas when she had gone and didn't tell me like at all, right? And you know, it was just kind of letting it build up. And so what I had found out, and this wasn't even until after, for me in the moment, it was simply, oh, you want me back after you had cheated on me. And you know, I get where she was coming from with like trying to make it work or whatever in that moment, because I had cheated on her back in the beginning of a relationship, but like I was able to justify it in my own head, and maybe this is wrong, as a well, I was a young, dumb, we were both young, dumb, fresh in our relationship, and like, yes, I made that mistake early, but we had already worked past a infidelity, you know, issue and came to a resolution and what have you. And then you're gonna go ahead and pull this and then expect me to just think it's okay after 7 years. And to me, that just didn't sit right. And so I figured out later in life that I don't know how long it took me to kind of like put this all together, but so what had happened was this dude that she had cheated on me with, and I never, granted, this is kind of hearsay, but like it also just kind of makes sense with the way that it all panned out. So she had, after she cheated on me, you know, I broke up with her, and to her, that was her green flag to like go and pursue this other guy, because I'm pretty sure that this other guy was kind of a piece of shit. I actually know who he is and knew of him for a hot minute. Who he was, whatever, I won't get into that, but I knew who he was prior to this all happening. And so like I called all of this, you know, like, oh, you cheated on me with this guy, and like, yeah, I did. And so that spiraled into a whole argument, whatever, into like her being like, let me just come over and explain, blah blah blah, things happened that weren't the greatest, not smart things. I said some things afterwards that were like really bad of me, and like, whew, man. So I found out that after I had broken up with her, she used that as an excuse to go and try to make things work with this guy. And I don't know if like he was using me or the fact that she was already in a relationship as like means to be like, you know, to keep her at arm's length. That dude was kind of a player, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, whatever, you know, some guys are like that, and like, if you want to like sleep around or whatever, that's on you, right? Like that's a difference of opinion. I'm not like that. I don't like that. I've never been that way. That's not really my thing. But so she went to try to like get back with this guy, like as like making it an official thing, you know. And so this whole time she's been like pursuing this guy while dating me and trying to, because the way that I've always seen it is that guys and girls kind of cheat for very different reasons. And wow, that was a big bug. Girls kind of cheat because they're trying to replace most of the time. And there's always exceptions to certain rules like this, right? But girls do it because they're trying to replace. Guys do it because they lack the physical. Like, I don't know, like I said, exceptions to the rules or whatever, but she used it as like, she used me breaking up with her as a reason to try to get with this guy. And so after he kind of was like, nope, I actually don't want to be with you, I just wanted to sleep with you, that's when she came back to me and was trying to get with me, and I said, no, that is not going to be how this happens. So yeah, that was. And then ever since, that was the kind of the one that like gave me the most trust issues, I think. There had been like other stints and whatever. There was probably a few girls after that I was like dating, and nothing like serious. It was all nothing like official, right? It was just kind of like talking and, you know, a little bit of physicality here and there. But like every girl since then has either been trying to actively gaslight me, physically abusive, or has just straight up ghosted me, and with zero exception. And I think that's like a big reason why I have trust issues right there. Because like after the whole long-term relationship thing, there just had been like 0 relationships after that like were actually healthy, good, or conducive, you know. And I don't know, this girl that I've been seeing lately, she feels different. She feels very different. And things are like going well, and it's scary. Because like I don't want to, again, fall for somebody just to have them like break me even further into more little pieces. But like, I still believe in love, right? You kind of have to. Was pretty therapeutic. Now that made the drive go by quicker, that's for sure. I don't know if I'll use that or not. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll just put some of that in there, kind of raw and unedited, and kind of see how. Yeah, we'll see. Already back into the valley though. Made the drive go by pretty quick. That's for show. That's for show. For show. Man, the other day coming back, I was riding my bike out around, what was it, Friday. I drove my car down to Elko Speedway because some of my homies were sliding, they were drifting down there, and so I went down there to check that out. And then there was a birthday / going away party up back in Burnsville or Bloomington. I got a weird spot on the shifter there. And so I rode my bike up there because I hadn't gotten to ride it in like days at that point, and I didn't really care. I just wanted to ride my bike. I don't need to anymore. On the way back, it started like, the only reason I drove it was because the weather was saying that it wasn't supposed to rain until 11, and lo and behold, it just starts downpouring at like 9:45, which kind of really upset me at that point. I was not happy about that at all. That was like my second time ever being caught in the rain as well. But either way, I'm gonna grab myself a drink because I'm thirsty AF. Need me some electrolytes. So, had a really fun day. I'm like really close to home, so I'm gonna call this the outro and just kind of use this all as one take. I think that's fine. But hope to see you all in the next one. Thanks for listening to my blabbering, and hopefully this actually makes it into some posts, you know?